where is Sangita Myska? A question that everybody's been asking for the last couple of weeks, because we don't know where she's been. She has been off LBC. Her position for her Saturday slot has been filled by Ali Mirage, former Conservative parliamentary candidate Ali Mirage, I might add. And we've been wondering why she's been taken off air. She's been a very well-loved presenter on LBC for quite a while. We always like her take. She seems very reasonable. She's really good at putting people into rhetorical traps with the calls that she takes, kind of using the Socratic method to a very good effect. And we were completely surprised for her just to be taken off air for no reason. For a week or so, she's not even been posting on Twitter whilst this has been going on in the background. We had a couple of tweets. One getting somebody done for libel, I guess, or getting to delete their tweet, which was libelous, or what she said it was anyway. And one saying that she missed everybody. That's it. That's all we got from her. The very last time, though, she was an LBC might give us a clue as to the reason why she, of all people, has been replaced on LBC. Let's have a watch and see the moment in question that I think holds the key as to why she might have been taken off air.
Sangita, there's already been a direct conflict vis-a-vis the Houthis, and that is ongoing. Iran stands behind this. It is their interest to engulf the area. We never wanted that. We didn't choose this war. We didn't want this war. But we have to defend ourselves. I mean, can you imagine if they had nuclear weapons? That's the real question. Had they been shooting nuclear weapons at us?
With all due respect, that's not the real question. What the Iranians, of course, have said is that this is a retaliatory strike after Israel struck its consulate in Syria. Now, we all know that the way diplomacy works is consulates and embassies are considered sovereign territory of the government that is concerned. What Israel did by taking that action against Iran was escalate what is already an incredibly fragile situation.
Sangita, that's an outrageous framing of the reality.
It's not an outrageous framing. I've just been speaking to somebody who is a diplomat to Iran from the UK government. That's not an outrageous framing of it. What Israel did was strike what is considered in diplomatic circles the sovereign territory of Iran, whether we like it or not. No. And there was undoubtedly going to be a blowback. So did Israel game out what was going to happen next?
Firstly, I'm not going to speak directly to that strike. What I can say definitively, and this is why it's outrageous, I can say definitively is that wasn't an embassy, it wasn't a consulate, it wasn't any type of diplomatic mission.
It's been widely reported as that.
Because that's what Iran says. Because that's what Iran says. So would you like to copy and paste?
Are you suggesting every single news organisation in the world has got that wrong?
And there we go. That is her explicitly criticising an Israeli government spokesperson to his face about the fact that Israel is the person who's escalated when it came to the conflict with Iran. That's thankfully died down a little bit since this interview was aired over the last couple of weeks. And it doesn't look like we're going to get a more regional conflict just yet. Very interesting, though. That was the very last thing that we had posted from LBC involving Sangita, where she had challenged an official Israeli government spokesperson directly to his face, and suddenly she's not there anymore. She's been turfed out. I don't see why otherwise they would do it, considering how popular that she is. It doesn't make any sense, given the fact that the kind of audience that LBC at least tries to court, the James O'Brien audiences of this world, even people on the far left, right? I'm on the far left. I still like Sangita. I think she's been really good over Israel-Palestine. She's been really challenging to Israeli spokespeople. But apparently, maybe, again, we've not got any information this definitely was the reason why. It was the very last thing that she covered before her contract wasn't renewed. It doesn't make any other sense as to why they would get rid of somebody who people across kind of the broader centre to left political spectrum, we all generally like the work that she does. She's one of the only people who actually ever really cared about listening to an LBC. It doesn't make any other sense other than this being the reason why they would have gotten rid of her. And there's also another clue as to why Sangita specifically has been taken off air, and why I think it might be because of this reason. When you have a look and see who's replaced her, it's Vanessa Feltz. Vanessa Feltz is part of the new revamped lineup. No other people have been gotten rid of other than Sangita. She's the only new face on the channel. So they have essentially gotten rid of Sangita Myska and then replaced her on their lineup with Vanessa Feltz. Let's have a listen to what she had to say about her appointment to LBC.
At last, I can announce Vanessa Feltz is coming to LBC.
Hooray!
Oh, Vanessa, my goodness me. I loved the comment that you've given. You liken it to a romance.
Isn't it? LBC have been wooing me with flowers, with fruit, with muffins. They've beseeched me. They've been on bended knee. And all these years I've resisted their blandishments. And today I've succumbed. They've
And
got
why?
me. They've had me, finally.
Okay, well, as you
Literally, this is somebody who went on the pro-Israel marches, and she's been announced as a new LBC presenter on their new revamped lineup that doesn't include Sangita anymore. Finally, we have at least an acknowledgement of the fact that Sangita isn't there anymore by LBC after 2 weeks of just total silence. Now, of course, Lewis Goodall is taking over the slot, I think, by having the permanent Sunday morning political analysis show. Of course, they want to have their news agent's protege front and center, because you got to remember, like, the News Agents podcast is literally funded by global media who also fund LBC. It's not some kind of grassroots journalists going their own way. It's sponsored by a big media organization now. It's not some kind of, iconoclastic counterweight to the political class. It's just another centrist podcast. It's nothing other than that. As much as I think that Lewis Goodall is like a fine commentator, it's clear that LBC want to push him personally because he is also part of Global's other media outlets in terms of what they produce elsewhere. But the fact that the person who's the face that's replaced Sangita in terms of their roster is Vanessa Feltz. What makes you think that this has something to do with Sangita being removed previously for her conversations with Israeli government spokespeople? Let's have a look and see what Vanessa Feltz's opinions are on Israel very specifically. So this was a segment from Talk TV, her previous employer, extremely pro-Israel Talk TV that she used to work for, the Murdoch outlet that she was previously happy being a host for a very, very long time. Weird how she knew suddenly LBC are hiring people from Talk TV ex-Murdoch and getting rid of people, principled like Sangita. Either way, this was something that she talked about in regards to the positioning over the Israel-Hamas war when she spoke to veteran journalist Peter Oborn about this situation from the West Bank specifically. So there's Peter Oborn calling in from the West Bank to talk about the protests and the votes going on around a ceasefire from the UK whilst reporting from Palestine, occupied Palestine.
Watching the programme now, we'll see it. How many 4,500 children dead, more than 11,000 civilians dead, tens of thousands injured, maimed for life, traumatized. You listen to the genocidal talk from the senior Israeli politicians. It's completely baffling to people.
Isn't your description of genocidal talk actually not accurate? Because senior Israeli politicians don't talk about eradicating the Palestinian race. Far from it. Not in the way that Hamas, of course, talks about eradicating Israel and every single Jew in the country. They don't do that. They talk about wiping out Hamas, the terrorist organization at whose center is the tenet that what they exist to do is wipe out Israel. And of course, all of this in response to an unprovoked massacre of innocents, including babies, children, young people at a festival. So the idea that there's genocidal talk by senior...
Because there's been no massacre of innocents at all from Israel on the Palestinians. Don't mention, 20,000 at least dead civilians at all. No, they're just collateral damage. They're just unfortunate consequences.
IDF members is not accurate or true, is it?
Sorry, I don't... Thanks for the lecture, Vanessa.
It's a pleasure.
I greatly enjoyed it. But if you just look at the comments made by the senior Israeli politicians, what is it that Gallant said? He's talking about human animals. Listen to the words from Smotrich, who runs the West Bank. I mean, this is really terrifying stuff.
But they're not referring to Palestinian families or children or the babies in the hospitals for whom they were handing in incubators today, are they? They're not talking about them. They're talking about the terrorists who beheaded babies and who, I had no...
That's not true. That's a lie.
I'm saggy in the studio the other day.
I come on at great difficulty from the West Bank, which is in a town which is under siege by settlers and IDF. And I didn't come on to be lectured by you. Thanks for it, though. You asked me a question, how did the Palestinians see it? and I sought to give you an answer. I said that they were very interested in today's vote, but they were in despair about the government's position. And if you pay attention to the media, which you evidently don't, Vanessa Feltz, you will see there has been genocidal talk by Israeli politicians.
I certainly do pay close attention to it. And thank you very much indeed for the lecture that you have given me, which I appreciate with as much alacrity and enthusiasm as you appreciate what you consider to be my interviewing you. However, I'm presenting the programme and I can't allow you to stand on any soapbox and give a diatribe without challenging you. That's my job. Were I not to do it, I'd have to take a milk round instead. Thank you so much, though, for joining us at great difficulty, and we won't detain you any longer because I realise that you've had to undergo various obstacles to join us, and we do appreciate it. Thank you so much.
You literally just turfed him off the programme. She immediately turfed him off the programme when he said things that were inconvenient, because she's like, well, it's just not happened. Just not happened at all. I can't believe you said that. Here's the evidence of these things that have been said. Well, then, no, that's not what they said there. No. So this is the person, right, who has replaced Sangita after she was very critical of Israeli government spokespeople. I think that's a little bit strange. Either way, even if she's been taken off air for other reasons, the fact that they are replacing one of their most principled and knowledgeable, interesting and rhetorically skilled commentators for Vanessa Feltz as she flees the Murdoch hack outlet because it's only online now, so it's not really good enough for her future career ambitions. Very suspect, very, very, very telling. But there you go, that's LBC. I will not be following any of their content anymore. Not that I ever followed. If you enjoyed the video, make sure that you like and leave a comment. That helps the video out in the algorithm. If you subscribe and ring the bell, it'll let you know when I go live. I stream every day on YouTube and Twitch. You can also follow all of my socials down in the description. And if you want to support me in a more financial manner, there's a join button for membership to just 99p to be a member on YouTube, as well as a Patreon, and there's some merch there as well. And hopefully I'll catch you on the next video. Take care.